Okay.
Icecast is live.
Good.
1, 1, 2. Hey.
Say something.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I am saying something.
Looks good.
Something. There we go.
I'll just start recording.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start my recorder. 2.5 hours. That should be enough. Just check that this is working. Yep. Hang on.
Okay. Right. Ready to go?
Yep.
Recording?
Yes. Check.
Right. I'll start the show then, shall I?
Let's do it.
Let's do this. Okay, here we go.
Linux Outlaws is proudly sponsored by Bytemark UK. Check out their Big V platform for all your web hosting needs. Find out more at bytemark.co.uk. Six Gun Productions. New media, new rules.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Linux Outlaws episode 357. I'm Fab from Isernhagen in Germany, and what you heard there was my motorbike starting up.
Very nice, very nice. Hello, everybody. My name's Dan, and I am from Liverpool in the UK. And this is Linux Outlaws 357. We should have thought of a what's the name? Like a Magnum link, couldn't we? Like a Magnum 357. 357 Magnum.
Yeah, you're right.
Harry.
I was thinking the Magnum link. What's the you know?
I was thinking of the gun. Yeah. 357.
I was thinking what's his face? Peter Selleck.
Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck. Why did I call him Peter Selleck?
Is there a Peter Selleck? I don't know.
No.
Yeah, there could be. I was thinking of the most powerful handgun in the world.
Yeah.
Blow your head clean off.
I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm still not fully recovered. I'm still not there yet. 100%. That must be it.
Yeah, it could be.
Excuse.
I've swapped out some cables in the studio, and hopefully the mic's going to sound a lot better.
Yeah, it sounds a bit weird. Also, it apparently messed with your compression.
Yeah, somebody said. I heard people saying that on Google Plus.
Yeah, they were saying you were lower. I mixed it as I usually do, and I listened through the whole show as usual, and it sounded okay on my headphones. I noticed that you weren't as compressed as you usually were, but maybe it came out a bit,
Yeah, it lost all the bass out of the signal for some reason. That was something to do with it. And that made it sound really tinny, and maybe people are sensitive to bass.
I noticed it a little bit, but I didn't want to turn you up, because when I do that, I get the opposite. Then it's like, oh, Dan's too loud.
You can't please everyone.
I was conservative in this case, but that didn't work, did it?
Well, as I said, you can't please everyone.
What's Fogerty saying? You can't please everyone. No, was it? I can't but it's basically, I learned you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Yeah, we got loads of stuff to talk about. Fab's still nursing his cold, or whatever it is.
I've got tea with rum candice.
Oh, nice.
There's this candice thing in Germany. I don't know if you have that. It's like big lumps of sugar, but they're not sugar. They're like massive crystals of sugar.
Like sugar lumps. We would call them sugar lumps. Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same thing. Let me guess. Let me see.
They're just made into sugar cubes or whatever. Hang on.
I don't know. I need to Oh, I search for sugar lumps, and of course I get Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah, like checking out my sugar lumps.
No, not sugar lumps. Sugar lumps are, cubes.
Yeah.
Candice is well, you can look it up. Google it. It's Kandis. Kilo Alpha November Delta India Sierra. Candice.
Okay.
If you Google that, you get images. I get lots of images of semi-naked ladies for some reason.
Is there a band called Candice as well?
Yeah,
I'm getting a lot of results for some.
But if
bands.
you see the sugary types things.
Oh yeah, apparently they're. Sorry, yeah, no, I'm looking at the Danish band.
I think it's northern. I
Yeah,
always
I
thought
got
it was northern German, but apparently it's probably also from like Scandinavia.
Oh yeah, we have.
So,
okay. Sorry, go on. I was just going to say we do have these. Yeah, I recognize them.
So they are pretty cool. But then in Germany, northern Germany, I discovered this thing. They have Rumcandice. They put that stuff in rum, and saturated it so much that it doesn't melt because there's so much sugar in the rum, and then obviously it soaks full of rum, and then you put that into your tea. So massive derail at the start of the show there.
Well, I've got even more of a derail for you. This Danish band called Candice, same spelling, apparently play a style of music they're calling dance band. DANS band. It looks like Dan's band. Maybe
they're playing
like
band.
£20 sounds or something. Yeah, apparently dance band. Apparently it's like some Danish style. I've never heard of them. But all their albums are just numbered. They've got like Candice 4, but they're not numbered properly. I don't know, maybe they've done it some weird way. They've got Candice 4, Candice 9, Candice 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Is the name of their albums. It's kind of odd.
Are they like
oh, they've got a live album as well.
Are there like, what are the special numbers? Damn, my brain doesn't work.
Prime numbers.
Prime numbers, yeah.
No, I don't think so. Well, 10's not a prime number, is it?
I don't know. My brain. This is not going to be a good show.
hang on. I'm very certain that they're not.
After last show, you were doing you were the dumb one with the Iron Dome. Today it's my turn.
Yeah, prime numbers can only be divided by themselves and 1, if I'm right.
I know that.
So 10 can be divided by 2, so that can't be a prime number, and many other things. Prime numbers. Yeah, so prime numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, no, 11, 13, 17. No, so they're not. No, I don't really know why they've done that. It's weird. They're odd.
So anyway. on another tangent, I played this in Miro, but again, for people who requested it.
Whoa, that's loud.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's loud to me anyway. That sounds good.
I think it was loud on the recording. It's a loud bike. What can I say?
Yeah, Fab is actually on his bike. For those who haven't got video, he's actually sat on his bike right now.
Oh, I should just what? I don't know. I can't. It's not. I can't like keep it running. Maybe I can loop it. Maybe I can just record the engine idle sound.
Yeah.
And put that under. That would be good. I'll try that for next time. Yeah. Let's see if I can do that.
And then we can CGI the bike in later. Exactly. Meanwhile, a sad day for you, I imagine.
Well, not really. Miro closer quit. But to be honest, you gotta quit when you're ahead, right?
For those who don't remember, this is a brief return to World Cup Outlaws. Yeah. He's referring to Miroslav Klose, who's a German striker. He's the top scoring player of all time in the World Cup, I believe. And he announced his international retirement, but he's not retiring from football.
No, he's still playing for Lazio.
I thought I'd lost you then because your picture went off. There was a gap between your picture going off and then that coming on. So Fab's just put up a picture. Yeah. No, I just because the connection never lasts more than.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
picture will be in the show notes. Miro. Well, I mean, he had to stay on for 4 World Cups to finally win it. So, I mean, now's the time to quit.
Yeah, quit while you're at the top. There's no go out on top, as they say. Meanwhile, you've been the bike engine's not the only one you've been hearing lately. Also, the engine of your virtual truck.
I've been
on Euro Truck Simulator.
Again, yeah. Euro Truck Simulator. I've been playing it again. It's fun. Man, there's stuff about this game I didn't know. Somebody linked me yesterday. I was posting about it, and somebody showed me on YouTube there are videos of the company. Yeah, I'm just trying to look up. I forgot what the company's called. Who makes the game Euro Truck Simulator? They are really dedicated to this game. I think they're SCS Software. I think they pretty much only do this game.
Right.
Well, they only do trucks. They did like truck simulations before. Looking up on Wikipedia, their first game was called Hard Truck. Yeah, they are from Prague.
Okay.
And they're awesome. 20 employees apparently. That's not a lot. Well, there are videos on YouTube of like the crash recording sessions where they rented old car. They bought old cars, and they're like on a airport somewhere, you know, like a small airport, and they're basically racing these cars into each other and recording the crash sounds with like microphones in the car, and then they're dropping them from like a crane or something.
That's a good job.
They're having a lot of fun, yeah. So they actually recorded actual crashes for the crasher. They're like driving one car, like one's standing, and the other one's just like very slowly driving, like past it, going stuff like that. And they actually did. I knew this before, but they actually did sessions with all the like licensed trucks that are in the game, where they like they mic the whole truck, and then they record everything, like the idling sound and shit.
That's quite impressive.
I need them to come and do that with my motorbike, and then we can.
Yeah, but you don't want to crash it though.
No, just the idling sounds and shit.
Yeah, that's true. Cool. Well, you've been keeping busy. I've got a gig to announce. In fact, I've slipped this into the notes while you weren't looking. We're going to be, you'll have heard, many of you who've listened to this show will have heard us playing tracks by my band, 20 Pound Sounds. We're doing a benefit gig, a Gaza benefit gig for Save the Children.
That's good.
Yeah. It's to raise money to, help save the children, basically. You know, it kind of does what it says. And they're a charity, as I'm sure people will know. They're quite a big charity, and they're doing work out there, humanitarian work, obviously trying to clean up some of the mess after.
You're not raising money for Hamas, are you?
Not that I know of, unless it's some kind of cover.
It is Liverpool.
We might be raising money for hummus instead. We're just going to spend.
No, don't start with the hummus again. We'll get shut down.
We're going to spend, spend all the money on hummus. No, it's on Saturday. I just realised I haven't put the date and stuff in the notes here. It's on Saturday, the 6th of September, which is like just over 3 weeks away. 3 weeks on Saturday. It's in Liverpool. It's at a place called Bumper, which is a student tea place on Harbin Street in Liverpool. I'll put a link in the show notes. The only information I've got at the moment is their like Facebook event page, but I can link people to that. And I believe it's £10 for a ticket. There's a few bands playing. We're playing. I'm not sure exactly where in the lineup, but we're playing somewhere in the lineup. So if you want to check it out, go and have a look. It's a good cause, so you can help support the cause, and you can come along and see us if you're in travelling distance as well, and say hello.
Cool. That sounds good.
It should be good.
Cool thing to do. You're playing.
Charity. Charity, mate. Charity.
Wow.
It's not our first charity gig, actually. We've done some others, but I can't remember what they are now. That's really bad. I know we've done some others, though. Obviously, cause is close to my heart, so I can't remember them.
It'd be really, really interesting if you play Jimmy Carter, seeing as it's a Palestinian, Israeli kind of thing, you know.
Well, we were going to. Jimmy Carter's been trying to sort that shit out for years, hasn't he? I mean, he's been.
Well, he kind of caused that shit as well a little bit.
Yeah, to some degree. I mean, I don't know how that's going to go down. We'll see.
Well, you're singing that he's a peanut farmer, so I think that.
Yeah, I don't think we're singing. Yeah, we need to change the words though. We could change it to like Gaza kind of rhymes with farmer if you say it right. So maybe we could say. He went on down to old Gaza. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll work that out. But that is, we probably will be playing that as well. We were going to say some stuff about Jimmy Carter before we started, just to kind of. I don't know. We'll see what the crowd say. But yeah, it should be fun. So if people want to come along, have a look in the show notes. And meanwhile, on a totally unrelated note, I went to see Guardians of the Galaxy the other night, and it's really good.
I haven't managed to see that yet.
Well, a long time ago, months and months ago, we played the trailer on here. We played some of the trailer.
I love it. It's the comic books are written by Dan Abnett, who I really like. Who's he's from he writes Warhammer 40k books. I'm actually going to see him in November because he's at the Black Library Weekender, which I'm going to in Nottingham. It's I wanna see it, but I don't think I'll manage because I really want to see the original language version.
Oh right,
and it's really hard in Hanover. There's only like one cinema that does that, and it's Mondays.
Oh right, yeah.
Which sucks, and I probably have to wait for the fucking DVD, and I don't have time to go to cinema anyway. But it's good, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first film I've been to see since Batman, since the last Batman film. Yeah, I don't go to the cinema a lot, so I think it is the first one. Is it? Yeah, it is. So that would have been last year sometime, I think. 2013, Batman came out, am I right?
Well, now that you say that, I think Batman was the last movie I saw as well. Did I see anything in between? I don't think I did.
Yeah, I'm not a big cinema goer, to be honest. Okay, but this one did drag me out, so I'm just going to check, actually, when that came out. I think it was last year. Dark Knight Rises.
I'm just thinking if I saw another movie.
It might have been 2012. No, it was actually 20. Shit. Okay.
Yeah, I
don't know.
I think I haven't been in. Well, I've been to the. I went to Hanover into the cinema once, so I must have been in the cinema. In a year, in the last year, I must have been there once, but I can't remember what I saw.
Well, it must have had an effect then. According to this, Dark Knight Rises was released in July 2012 in the UK, so that's a long time ago. That must be that must be a while ago that I went to see that. So anyway, it's if you get a chance and whether you're a comic book fan or not, I would recommend people going to see Guardians of the Galaxy. To be honest, nobody knows the comic books anyway because they were never that famous. So I don't know them. I know of them, but I've never read them. So it didn't make any difference to me. It was still really enjoyable, and it's not kind of heavily tied into the comic book world as in the same way, but it's very entertaining, and and it's well worth checking out. So I'd recommend it.
Do you see the thing somebody made was like in a boardroom at Fox? It's like, hey, this Guardians of the Galaxy movie is doing really good. Hey, we need a property with like sympathetic outlaws that are on the run from the law and they're saving the world, and these aliens are attacking them
in space.
In space, and then there's this guy. Then there's this guy that calls like, we did that. It was called Firefly. And then the next panel is just the executive like really mad, and then the last panel is just like the building from the outside and the one guy falling. They kicked him out of the window.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I've seen a few bits of like fan art and stuff around already for Guardians, and there's one of I know a lot of people listeners will be upset, but I don't watch Game of Thrones. I know of it and I know most of the characters, but I never really get around to watching it. Well, okay, so are you familiar with Hodor? Who's the character who just says Hodor all the time?
I don't know. I haven't.
All right.
I haven't read the books and I haven't seen the series because I want to read the books before I see the series, and I can't get around to read the books.
Okay.
So all I know is from memes.
So right. You must know Hodor because there's like a Hodor in meme.
A Hodor keyboard for Android, where like the only button is Hodor, and then they actually say on the Google Plus page for a bonus, if you change all your passwords to Hodor,
you can log in.
One click login for everything as well.
That's quite handy. There's a few clips of Groot, one of the characters, can only say, "I am Groot." That's all he says, and that's from the comic books as well. So it's just the two of them. Yeah, that's Vin Diesel's job, which, to be honest, must be incredibly easy because his character's CGI, and he only has to say, "I am Groot" all the way through.
Is he the tree?
Yeah, he's the big tree dude. And so there's just this picture of Hodor going Hodor, and him going, "I am Groot," and him going, "Hodor, I am Groot," and like these like question marks, and like they're trying to have a conversation.
Is in that movie where he's a CGI tree and he just says one word?
No, he just says one phrase, "I am Groot." His name's Groot, and that's all he can say, I am Groot.
How much he was paid for that. That must have been outrageous.
Probably a fucking ton of money, yeah.
It's probably the highest amount an actor ever got paid per word or something.
Probably, yeah. I remember, suppose times have changed now, but When Arnold Schwarzenegger did Judgment Day all those years ago, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, there was some ridiculous amount of money. They worked out how much he'd been paid per word. He didn't say that much in that film. And it was some ridiculous amount he was paid per word. Anyway, but it's good. It's worth checking out. All right, and so on to some more kind of techie stuff. Been internet problems in Berlin, apparently.
Yes. Yesterday, there are apparently 160,000 people in western part of Berlin. So that would be Charlottenburg, Spandau, and Wilmersdorf, where didn't have internet and telephone and TV for pretty much all the Sunday, because somebody climbed down a cable duct at the Heerstraße in Charlottenburg and cut about 400 fiber bundles.
Wow.
Belonging to Kabel Deutschland, which is my ISP as well. The police and the interior security intelligence service, Staatsschutz, is investigating.
I was going to say, so this was a deliberate attack then, by the look of it. It wasn't a mistake.
Definitely. No, somebody went down there and cut the. It's not like sometimes
they're digging up the road and they go, oh shit, what was that?
It's like, oh shit, what's that? The cable. Let me pull a bit more, see how bad it is. Oh shit, it's bad.
Yeah.
No, this was an actual attack. Apparently, it's
what
the police says.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I mean, maybe it sounds like it must have been fairly vulnerable if they were able to just climb in and do this. It can't have been very well protected. I don't know. Yeah.
Fiber. I mean, it's not that hard to destroy.
No, there is that. No, what I'm thinking is like, what I'm thinking is whatever this hub was or whatever it was, they must have been able to get into it quite easily.
It was underground, and I think is quite often there, like where the sewers are.
Yeah.
They're like in the sewer system or something. The duct. Yeah. I think. Well, there's this access tunnels you have to for maintenance and shit. I mean, if you know where it is. I mean, you're from Liverpool. You get like a wire cutter. You know where it is. You get the lock off. You go in there. You go.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
I think maybe it was the mafia.
Maybe.
Or maybe
it was Putin.
Us and
maybe it was Putin on the Ritz.
Yeah, maybe. The
Ritz. With his wire cutters.
Where's Putin on the Ritz going past? There he goes. That Ritz sounds like a Moto Guzzi.
I was going to say that Ritz doesn't sound much like a biscuit.
What do you know what a huge Ritz sounds like?
True, yeah, I don't really know. To be honest, I haven't heard one. I'm imagining they don't sound like a petrol engine though, or an internal combustion engine. I don't know, maybe.
I think they were going after us, and they just assumed because I'm in Germany, I must have been in Berlin, like everybody.
Maybe.
If you find out they cut some cables in London, then I'm gonna assume some Americans try to go after us. Because they just go, he's in Berlin and he's in UK, so he's in London.
Yeah, or maybe they just didn't bother with my connection because it's usually shit anyway. So
anyway, yeah.
Just leave it; it'll break on its own. It usually does.
What ISP is that again?
I'm actually with Sky now. I got transferred to Sky. Yeah, the company that I was with got bought by Sky, so now I'm with Sky. And
that's the famous auto-degrading connection from Sky there.
Yeah, it could be. I'm still waiting for fiber. I've been I've been moaning to everyone about this for years. But my exchange is already. I mean, I live. Well, you know where I live. I live right in the middle of this fucking city, and I can't get fiber. And my exchange, my cab in the road was supposed to be upgraded April last year. As of now, it still isn't done. And they keep saying, it's been delayed. It's been delayed for fucking 18 months now.
Oh, that sounds like the UK. That sounds very British. What do you do is get a huge ass wire cutter and go around the city and cut other people's fiber
and that spite.
Until they give you fiber.
What I really need is one of those microwave radio antennas because I mean, right next to me is one of the major universities that has like an 8 gigabit connection.
Oh.
They've got an 8 gigabit per second connection, and I've got like 10 megabits. And download, that is. So, I mean, all I need is to convince someone over there to stick an antenna on the roof or highly focused, because I've got line of sight. So,
what do you need to do if you got a line of sight? You go in, you sneak in there, you put on a blue overall, like technician's thing.
Clipboard.
Yeah, clipboard, put like something on the back that says Dan's internet
Dan's broadband.
maintenance, yeah, broadband service, and then you go in there, and what you do is you take a connection from the main switch, you get it up the roof, and install laser.
Oh yeah. Okay.
They actually did that. I can't remember where it was. I think in Bonn. Two university buildings. There's one university building that's that's a bit far out from the other ones. But it's got line of sight because it's pretty high, and it's where the astrophysics are. They actually got a satellite dish on the top and shit. And no, it's not astrophysics. Like I don't know. The weather people, I think. Anyway, so what they did is they put a line of sight laser connection between the two buildings, and it's brilliantly. It's like really fast.
I'm just checking it now.
It's like the three. It's like just the 3-4 days in the year when it's really foggy in Bonn, the internet connection just breaks down.
Wow, it goes up to 10 gigabits.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing. If it isn't foggy.
Yeah. Or if some bird doesn't land on it and shit in the laser lens or something. That's quite impressive. Yeah. Up to 10 gigabits, it says.
It's cool as well. You can tell everybody that your internet's powered by a laser.
Yeah, but the problem is, as we're doing the show, what happens when like something blocks the laser and my connection goes off? You know, and it's a clear point. Yeah,
it's called FSO, Free Space Optical Communication.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it now. 100 megabit, blah blah blah.
Wow,
okay.
There's the Wikipedia article. There's a picture of a satellite on there with a laser. The satellite laser system.
With freaking lasers on their heads.
I want that now.
Yeah, you can get about two. Well, we've got there's some office buildings nearby that have a. I say nearby, actually. They're kind of more towards the other side of town, but they have a microwave antenna link between the two buildings, and I think they get 200 megabits or something.
Get a space laser.
Space laser. Yeah, I could do.
Space laser internet. That's where it's at.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I'll get right on that. Yeah, space laser. The problem is what's your upload speed going to be? Your download's going to be fantastic from the satellite, but your upload maybe not so good. I don't know.
But my internet's
in space.
All right, and so we get some news about the Maker's Eden. Act 1 has been released.
Yeah, it's been. We talked about this ages ago, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely talked about Maker's Eden. I remember that. Some time ago. Yeah. Didn't we play some of the soundtrack, or was that something else?
I played some of the soundtrack because I know the guy is Pixie and Jaco and the Abstraction, the guy who did the soundtrack, and I haven't had time. It's out now. I talked about this. I actually wanted to interview, but it's one of the things I never got around to.
I love that their website is makerseden.screwylightbulb.com.
Yeah, that's their development studio. It's called Screwy Lightbulb.
I do like Screwy Lightbulbs.
I love that. It's really cool. Yeah, I haven't played it yet, but I will, and then I'll get back to you. I'll probably write something about it on my blog, and then actually talk about it on the show as well. It's a let me just read out how they. It's a first-person hypertext adventure game presented in the style of a motion comic, and it's done in That sounds a bit lame, but it's done in Unity engine, and it has all these like really cool transitions and stuff, and it's cool. All like hand drawn.
It looks really nice. The graphics.
Yeah,
really nice.
It's film noir kind of cyberpunk with robots and flying cars and shit.
Yeah, it's got a really good atmosphere. It looks a bit like it's more kind of old-fashioned, but a bit like Blade Runner kind of style to it.
Yeah, that's kind of the style. I backed it on Indiegogo. Indiegogo. Indiegogo.
Indiegogo, yeah.
Indiegogo. Yeah. God. Can't.
Very cool. Very cool. It looks really nice as well, and it's $12.99 for the soundtrack and the game together. I mean, $12.99 is like £8 UK, something like that.
Yeah, or just the game is even cheaper.
Yeah, just the game is about £5, which is $8.99.
€9, and it's on Steam, Windows, Mac, Linux. It's also in the Humble Bundle, DRM free.
Very nice.
And the Steam version is you can play that offline, so it doesn't have the heinous Steam DRM.
Hmm.
And their development studio is called Screwy Lightbulb.
That is
of
very cool.
Development studio names, bionicraven.com.
Oh yeah. Have you put
you
something
found
on there? I haven't looked actually. No, I haven't. Let me have a look. Bionic Raven. The sound of live typing here, people. Raven.com.
It's not much, but
Oh yeah. Okay.
It has a logo.
Yeah, I see the logo. Yeah. That's nice.
The Raven. It's got vacuum tubes.
Has it got dog tags there as well? What's that?
No, that's vacuum tubes.
Oh, vacuum tubes. Sorry. I thought it had dog tags or something at first. I don't know why I thought that, but. And is this got like a robotic leg? Is this a robotic leg or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a monocle, it looks like.
A laser monocle.
Oh, a laser monocle. Sorry, of course. Yeah. That's very cool. Yeah. All we need now is a game to develop on it.
I'm working on it.
All right, and so I've this was something I don't know. I was going to say it's an old section we used to do. It's not really. I was doing some stuff last week, and I came across a very cool desktop Linux app that I hadn't used before. Maybe people will know about it, maybe they won't. But I decided to include it as a called it a Linux desktop app tip. I don't know whether people will know about it or not. It's been around for a while. I was trying to fill you in on the background a little bit. I was trying to find some old files that some couple of photos that I was struggling to find for. We needed them for a website project or something, and my machine's got so much crap on it that it's really hard to dig through the folders. So I dug through the folders for a while, couldn't find it, and I just thought there's got to be an easier way than this of finding them. So I looked for a decent desktop search app, and I know there's a lot out there, but a lot of people started suggesting one called Synapse, which I installed, and honestly, I couldn't be happier with it. It's really, really good. It'll find almost anything for you pretty quickly. It just runs in the little. You can run it all the time. Just leave it in a little system tray there, and then you press a button and bring it up and start looking for stuff. But it'll give you all like matching results and related results and all kinds of stuff for various different searches. And I was able to find stuff really quick with it. And twice last week it saved my bacon because I really needed to my Jono bacon because I really needed to. What was these brothers' name? I can't remember. The guy with the coffee car. Chris P. Bacon. I found it was really, really useful.
Bacon.
Dave Bacon. Yeah. Kevin Bacon? No, that's different. That's Kevin Bacon was Footloose. But it's been around for a while, I think. But I found a really good article on Linux Insider, which we're going to link to in the show notes, which is a good review of the app, basically. And it's really, really useful. You can get plugins for it, and you can do all kinds of stuff with it. But I just found...
it looks like Spotlight on the Mac, right?
Yeah, it is a bit like that, yeah. It's also a little bit like kind of GNOME Do or one of those things in the way that it pops up on the top with the little text box and you just start typing what you want.
Called for macOS, I think it's called Alfred.
It could be
called Alfred, which I always like the name of.
I was going to say that's quite cool because again, it makes me think of Batman. But,
it helps you with things.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So go and check it out. If you're, I'm on Linux Mint and I just installed it from a repo. I just did a sudo apt-get install Synapse and it just did it. But I'm sure you can get it on whatever distro you're on.
It's called Alfred. Sorry, I'm just alfredapp.com.
Okay.
Which I always like that. I also like the logo. It's a bowler hat and a search a magnifying glass.
Okay. Oh, hang on. So looking at this, they've got GNOME 3's got Zeitgeist or whatever it's called, which is the kind of search thing. Apparently this is powered by Zeitgeist as well. It plugs into that.
It's the indexing.
Yeah. Which makes sense. And they list some other cool plugins and stuff. It'll do a dictionary search as well, apparently, if you add the dictionary plugins and so on. So I can see me getting quite into this. But a couple of times it's kind of bailed me out in the last week when I didn't think I was going to be able to find some files that I needed. And it found them for me. So well worth checking out. It's called Synapse if you want to do a search for it, or follow the link at sixgun.org in the show notes where you can read about it on Linux Insider. And there we go.
In your brain.
With that, we should probably commence with the main news.
I'm trying
main
to.
Stories.
My computer is even slower than my brain today.
Oh, no.
Knoppix 7.4 is out. Klaus Knopper has released.
I do love his name.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it's got some really cutting edge stuff, such as the Compass window manager, and the bootloader now boots 64-bit kernels per default on 64-bit capable computers.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I've never used Knoppix. Isn't this the first time? Didn't you say Knoppix was the first Linux you ever saw on a lab in university or something?
KDE, and it scared me away of Linux for about a year or two. It's really weird that they integrate Compass now. Like,
yeah,
isn't
that
Compass
is
basically dead?
I think Canonical is still using it, aren't they? For Unity.
But they basically forked it, didn't they? Because the guy is not working for Canonical anymore.
Sam Spilsbury, he was a guest on Floss Weekly ages ago, talking about Compass. Must have been like a couple of years ago now, but probably more. He was a guest, and I remember talking to him at the time. At the time, he did work for Canonical, but he left Canonical not long after. But he was only like 19 or something, and he'd been working on it since he was 12 or 13 or something like that. So highly impressive stuff. It's it's interesting that they would still use it. I don't know. They must have other developers working on it, is all I can think. Is any other distro using it? I'm just going to have a look now. Compass. Is it still going?
Not as default. I mean,
you can probably install it on other things. Here we go. Compass.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Okay, so the last stable release was on July the 23rd this year, and that's only like 2 weeks ago.
That's pretty recent.
So I'd say they're pretty active. It's developers, Sam Spilsbury's still listed. So developers, David Raberman.
I know.
Sorry.
I know that he's still developing it. He's just not working for Canonical anymore.
Okay.
I don't. It's just not in technology anymore with all the new desktops now having compositing window managers. But hey, yeah, it's now in Knoppix. And it also includes Bitcoin Core, so the Bitcoin wallet application.
Oh, okay. We did there was a. I feel like I'm just talking about Floss Weekly now. There was a recent Floss Weekly I was on about 2 weeks ago about using JavaScript tools for. It was called BitCore, I think, and that's a JavaScript powered thing for processing transactions and all the rest of it in Bitcoin. Go and have a listen. It was on a couple of weeks ago on Floss Week.
So that's,
if anyone's interested.
But that's not Bitcoin Core. Bitcoin Core is the
No, sorry. It's called BitCore, I think, which is different. Let me just check. BitCore. BitCore. BitPay. There you go. So there's a company called.
I know BitPay.
Yeah, BitPay were the company who make BitCore, basically. And they also do other things. There's a project called Insight, which they were telling us about. And Insight is just for inspecting the chain, the blockchain. Yeah. And
so you can find out how much money Mark Karpeles lost in his sofa.
Yeah, something like that.
That seems to be the main work, the main reason behind inspecting the Bitcoin blockchain.
Oh, excellent. People are telling us in the IRC there that apparently we talked about last time the USB talk, the USB security talk from Black Hat Conference. Apparently the video's online now if people want to check it out.
Oh, cool.
Of the talk. I'll copy the link into the show notes while we carry on. All right, and so where are we up to? Ubuntu. There's been a new Ubuntu release, Ubuntu 12.04.5. So this is the latest kind of roll-up and collection of fixes and other things for their long-term support release 12.04, which is still going, still under support as you'd expect. I think it's supported until 2017 if I'm right, but I may have to check. I can't remember. I'm fairly certain it is though, 2017. So it's going to be around for quite a while yet. They've rolled up a load of new stuff. What does it say? It says it contains an updated kernel, which would make sense, and X stack for new installations on x86 architectures. And lots of security fixes and so on. As usual, this point release includes many updates, and updated installation media has been provided, so fewer updates will need to be downloaded after installation. That makes sense. Security updates, corrections, other high impact bugs. So if you're on, or if you're going to install a new machine with 12.04, then although why you do that now, I'm not sure, because 14.04 is a LTS as well, isn't it? So I think if you were going to do it from scratch now, you wanted an LTS.
This is if you want to install now.
Mm.
You don't have to do so many updates.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But if I was going to install an Ubuntu LTS system right now, today, I think I'm going to do that. Wouldn't I go for the 1404 instead of 1204? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it depends on what your application is.
That is a good point.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, I would go for the latest LTS, which is 1404, isn't it? If I'm right.
Well, yeah, but there's still, I guess. But I think.
And if you're on 1204, you might. I'm sure, of course, you're going to keep updating it and stuff. But
well, I don't know.
Maybe you need to reinstall.
Well, no. I think first of all, they still need to do the roll-up fixes anyway because they're committed to it. And then, like, if you're a big company and you said, okay, we're using 1204 company-wide, and then you're installing a new machine, I think that's when you would use it.
Yeah, basically. I suppose so.
Did you know that we started the show half an hour early?
Apparently, yeah, I was looking at that. I didn't realize.
Of the fact, we actually started half an hour late, but because I put the wrong time on the website because I got time zone confused.
Oh no.
We started early.
Wow. Well, this is kind of like the way Ryanair and EasyJet and people always arrive early because they'll set like a 2-hour time to do a half-an-hour journey. So they can always be and say we arrive early. All our flights arrive early. All right, and so what's this next one about? QEMU 2.1.0 is out now, and it supports USB 3 pass-through apparently. I haven't got any USB 3 hardware yet, so I mean my machine's got USB 3 ports, but I haven't got anything to use.
I was going to say you must have ports.
No, I've got the ports. I haven't bothered. I mean, I don't know. I haven't bought any new kind of like external hard drives or anything lately that would need that.
I have the ports, I just haven't plugged anything into it.
Yeah, anything that's USB 3. Oh dear. I mean, I'm just using probably USB 2 devices.
I wonder if there's USB 3 dildos.
Probably. I mean, why wouldn't there be? There's like all kinds of other stuff out there.
Probably.
Anything. I mean, it gives power, doesn't it? I mean, it gives it gives the power off the USB port, so it makes sense. It's out now. QEMU 2.1.0. Highlights include support for memory hot plugging on x86 guests.
Hot plugging?
Support for pinning memory on the host.
Pinning memory!
And basically, you'll get excited about this. Basic hot unplug.
Oh, an unplug!
For x86 guests. Okay, that's interesting. Using a 235 machine type.
Baby.
Arch 64, blah blah blah. Full support for USB 3. Arch, yeah. That's same thing in German. Full support for USB 3 pass-through, including streams. It says. So if you had like a camera or something, some media device, I presume, which is streaming constantly through USB 3, you can pass it straight through to a guest on a QEMU.
I'm not into streams or stream pass-through.
Fair enough. So that's out now. If you're if you're interested, go and check that out. Now we get some more security stuff. Kind of security stuff, I would say.
As he says, USB 3 iron dildo.
Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
The Pwnie Awards 2014.
Which are not Pony Awards, as in My Little Pony or anything.
Well, the award, if you go to the Heise story at
I'm looking now
that I wrote, you can see the trophy, which is a My Little Pony. I put on there. I wrote the recap of that from Heise. The best server-side bug, unsurprisingly, Heartbleed. Best client-side bug, the Chrome vulnerability that GeoHot owned Chrome with at Prone to Own. Lamest vendor response, AVG.
Wow.
Remember that thing I covered? We talked about where there was this bug and they fixed like 3 bugs and then they said, oh well, that one you need to be in the like you could basically the administration, they have like a product which lets you manage all the installations of the antivirus in the whole company. And the client that connects to that administration backend basically the way it validated passwords was on the client.
Hmm.
So you didn't need the right password. You just need to rewrite the client a bit to tell the server, "Yep, got the right password," and then you were in. When I wrote them about this, and I'm like, do you really want to fix this? Are you sure you don't want to fix this? They were like, nah, it's inside the LAN, so all bets are off. So no, it's that's what it is. Yep, they got
So just
blamed.
basically, it was will not fix, closed.
And then with this one guy who wrote like 20 lines of Python code, which you could log in with. Yeah. I don't know if this is actually. I don't know if somebody else actually talked to AVG or if my
And they were
story
worse. Oh, yeah.
Well, no, and then, I don't know. They reply to everybody like this, but I like to think my story got picked up by an English thing, and then there was a Pwnie award based on that. That would have been really cool. Most epic fail is very aptly go to fail.
Oh yeah.
So Apple wins that one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this was kind of preordained as well. I mean, go to fail is pretty much the definition of that category, and then it has fail in the name as well. So they were just, I mean, I think they were in the nominations. They said usually we don't like people trolling.
I was gonna say, yeah, isn't this trolling? Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you're trolling for, but this we couldn't pass this one up. Actually, the guy who discovered Heartbleed actually was there at Black Hat to take his Pwnie with him, and apparently he said in his speech, he said this is actually why he disclosed Heartbeat.
What's a winner?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool. And then most epic ownage, Mark Karpeles, Mt. Gox CEO. And I like to quote from the nomination, which I found hilarious, and I also quoted on Heise. Quote, hundreds of millions of dollars went missing, and all blockchain analysis, we were talking about that, points to Mr. Karpeles either being the dumbest developer in the history of mankind or complicit in the theft of Mt. Gox users' funds. I like that. And then the best song was won by 0x a bad idea. 0x a bad idea with the song, the SSL Smiley song. Actually, can you do that up? It's really
hang on.
Really short. Go to the site. I don't have this computer connected to the
hang on. Yeah, I'm trying. I can't get the power carton. She'll blow. Is it linked from the Heise story? Yeah.
No, it's actually, it says the SS on the news.sixgun.org.
Hang on.
It's also linked from the Heise story. SSL Smiley song, it says. That should be the link. Pulling it up! Enhance!
Yeah. Oh, hang on. I've typed new.sixgun.org. It's not news. Okay. Blah, blah, blah.
Enhance.
Pwnie Awards. Oh yeah, best song.
Yeah.
There we go. It is loading. It's loading now, Captain.
Better be good.
Here we go. Let's see if we can work.
Dashing through the cloud on a 10 gigabit link. One packet in a crowd falls into the data sink. Draw a smiley face on the diagram. Suck up data, leave no trace, it's all for Uncle Sam. Oh, SSL terminators at the data center. Just gotta get on the other side, just gotta break and enter. No need to hack that server rack, just gotta tap that fiber. Download all the private data, win the war on cyber.
Well, that's it, apparently.
Yep, that wins you Pwnie.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. It feels like it should be around Christmas time for that kind of song. Just because of the,
Well, Christmas coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're right. It is getting closer, scarily. And then we get some news, more security news actually. Drupal and WordPress have jointly closed vulnerabilities in their systems. And I meant to mention actually, did I put it in the notes? I'm not sure if I did. You know, I forgot, didn't I?
No. You put it in the notes. I deleted it because it's in that story.
It's in the story. So yeah, yeah, another Drupal release. I seem to spend all my time upgrading Drupal sites these days. Yeah, we had the 7.29, and then we were like, oh, 7.30, 7.30 is out now, and now 7.31, 7.31.
To make sure we wouldn't cover it twice.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so WordPress 3.9.2. I'll get this right in a minute. Has been released with security fix for all versions. What's the actual vulnerability here? It just says this release fixes a possible denial of service. Oh, actually, I read this in the security release. I should know this because I read it on the Drupal site. There's a possible denial of service attack based on their XML RPC thing, which is the blogging. So you can send blog posts from other services and stuff.
Well, the problem is the XML RPC interface is always open. Funnily enough, both in WordPress and in Drupal. Even if you turn it off, it's still there. And what this vulnerability does, it's a variant of the a million lulls attack. Basically, it's if XML has entities that you can expand. Basically, you send this to the server, and you send XML that expands entities endlessly. It's like a mail bomb. It basically fills up your database with up to 5 gigabytes of crap because you just send it this command, and it keeps you have a little bit of It's actually not that much information, not that much data, but then it expands all the XML entities, and then your server just goes to shit.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. So if you're on, if you're using Drupal or WordPress, you should get them upgraded. Drupal version 6.33, if you're on the 6 version 6 series, and then 7.31, as I said, which I'm thankful that I've upgraded all my sites to last week when I got some messages about this. Obviously, your WordPress should be updated. Actually, WordPress updated itself, if I remember right. I got an email saying it had updated.
If you go to, did I link this? No, I didn't. Damn it. I'm gonna put a link in the show. Let me just find this. Why didn't I put this in? Waffle.
I'll keep going. Yeah. Meanwhile, people for some reason discussing Steven Seagal in the IRC, which, to be honest, you're probably not missing that much out. Not missing much out of.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put the link in the show notes.
Okay. Meanwhile, I do have a story about. It's not really a story. I do have a small kind of anecdote to do with Drupal and WordPress.
Before you go in that. If you look, I'll put the link in the show notes. If you go to the Heiser story on this, just look at the screenshot. You might notice something. Put a little Easter egg in there.
Hang on. Link in the show notes. I'm finding it. Going as fast as I can.
Of the update email that administrators might have gotten.
Oh yeah, 6gun Productions. Yeah. Your site has been updated. Nice. I got the same. Well, I can get the same email, but I got select a couple of similar emails from WordPress sites that I use.
A bit of stealth advertising on one of the biggest German IT sites there.
Yeah, very nice. Also, you've given away your email address, although people probably knew that anyway.
Yeah, that email address is everywhere.
Yeah.
Spam. It can't get worse, dude. It literally can't get worse.
Fair enough. I was going to mention, I've been doing for various reasons, been investigating for work some project that we're working on. They want us to integrate WordPress and Drupal for some reason.
Wearing a fedora and a trench coat while you're investigating this.
Yeah, I wish I was. For some reason, because we've got a lot of the WordPress blogs already, they want us to integrate WordPress blogs into the Drupal site that we're building, and I'm thinking, God, this is just going to get messy. But anyway, that's what they want to do. So I've been searching. That's not the actual story. So I was searching. Yeah, it's a madhouse. Yeah, you did it, you damn fools. Yeah. You crazy fools. So I was searching for information on. I mean, I know I could just put it in a subfolder and all the rest of it. I've done that before with WordPress and Drupal and stuff. But And then I thought about, using iframes and shit like that. But while I was searching around, I found this post by, I can't say his name properly, but Dries Boyart, I think it is, the guy who...
Boytard?
Yeah, I don't know how you say his name, but the creator of Drupal, anyway. I found a post on his blog about some official tools for integrating WordPress and Drupal, and I thought, oh, this is interesting. So I start reading it, and as I'm reading it, I'm thinking, this post just doesn't seem, I don't know, there's something weird about it. So I read through it, and then as the post goes on, he goes, I've actually contacted Matt Mullenweg about this, and he's agreed to move all of his work over to Drupal, and we're really happy to have him on board and all this stuff, and we're releasing a brand new what did he say? He said the new WordPress, the new Drupal module for integrating WordPress via iframes is now available.
When was this post written?
Yeah, that's exactly what. So I looked at it and I thought, this is bollocks. This is clearly bullshit. So, and then I scrolled up to the top, and sure enough, it was the 1st of April it was posted on. So that was a short-lived solution. But
I've got it. I've solved it. Oh,
yeah. I just thought, this is, well, clearly when he said, I've approached Matt Mullenweg and he quickly agreed to move to Drupal, I thought, yeah, that's clearly
this sinking feeling.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually I'll find the story. I'll put it in the link in the show notes because it is very funny actually. All right, and so while I'm doing that, why don't we carry on with the next one?
There's some awesome ransomware. Well, not awesome if you get it, but it's called Sinolocker. Ransomware. If you got Windows, usually it encrypts stuff on your hard drive, and then it asks for Bitcoin. Great use of Bitcoin there. People love Bitcoin. Yeah, and there's another thing called Sinolocker, which does the same thing on your NAS, on your Synology NAS, because these guys thought, encrypting people's hard drives just doesn't hurt them enough. Let's hit them where it hurts, right in the backups, and where people have all their music collection and all their movies on the NAS. So this encrypts it on your NAS, and then if you log in to the web interface, it says send us money, or you never see your files again.
Whoa.
This only affects an old version of the Synology software. This station manager DSM, and this affects DSM 4.3, and the new version is 5, and so yeah.
So it's fairly out of date,
but nobody upgrades the NAS.
It says this was, that's true. It says this vulnerability was fixed in December 2013.
Yeah. So. This was actually the same vulnerability. I'm pretty sure we talked about this because I wrote about this as well when they installed Bitcoin miners on the NAS.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right, actually. Now that I think about it, I mean, I've got a Buffalo. I shouldn't tell anyone this in case there's loads of. There probably are loads of holes in it anyway. But I've got a Buffalo NAS, and it runs Linux and all that. But I've never actually really upgraded it.
Well,
it works, so I've never bothered.
This runs Linux as well. So here's the thing: don't connect that anywhere where it's reachable by the outside world. But even then, you can get like cross-domain stuff, and it's.
Yeah. At the moment, it's not actually. It's not. It was at one time natted, so that you could get to it from outside. At the moment, it's not.
Bad. So. Update your shit, people. Update your shit.
That is a good advice.
Yeah, I like to think that these guys who put the Bitcoin miners on there thought, "Oh, this is not making us any money. These things are too slow." And then somebody went, "Hey, let's just get the people to give us the Bitcoins voluntarily. How could we do that? Let's encrypt their shit."
Yeah, social engineering. That's always the way. The people are always the weakest link in the story. So I've put a link in the show notes to the post that Dries put on about Matt Mullenweg.
Not actually true.
Well, I put that in because people will go, "Oh my god!" But there's actually he went as far as to make a logo for
I'll have to look at this now.
He calls it the Red Press of Drupal. So he goes on about doing some deal with Red Hat to integrate WordPress with Red Hat. And then he puts the WordPress W into the Acquia logo. Acquia is his company, is Dries' company.
He made a shirt.
The shirt's pretty good. He even got a T-shirt and put it on a T-shirt. Yeah. But the amount of people in the comments who are like, "This is fantastic news. Something I've been waiting for years. This is great news. Congrats. Can we Can we get a joint Drupal and WordPress conference?
Very great. We, the German communities misspelled, working together hand in hand with the other open source content management systems and build the CMS garden. We stand at the CeBIT 20 blah blah.
It says
Press.
Yeah, I do like the some of the responses. One of them says, "Don't play with my feelings like that. That's not funny." Well, actually, it is, but a slower beginning would have got me going.
It took to the fourth comment. The fourth comment is the first one who gets it.
It gets it's a joke. Yeah. In my defense, well, I knew I worked out pretty quickly this must be a joke because I thought there's no way as I was scrolling down that this would actually happen.
Well, at the Red Hat logo, you can.
And the Red Hat logo, yeah, exactly. The red press of Drupal. So it's worth a read anyway if you fancy a laugh.
This is 2013. Huh.
It's April Fools 2013. Yeah. So last year. So not that old. I mean, it's like just over a year old. 16 months, 15 months. Meanwhile, I've noticed a typo in this next one. I don't know if you want to know this or not, but you've put Unity lock screen loses keyboard focus.
Oh.
It should be loses. It's got too many O's.
I can fix
Unless it looses your focus. Is that what it does?
Why do you say that? I could have fixed that without anybody knowing.
Well, sorry. Now I've outed you. I'm the king of bad spelling, so I had to bring it to attention. So Unity I
always do the lose. I always do that wrong. It's one of my.
I do that as well.
My big things to do.
Yeah, I think everyone does lose. Yeah, lose. So it was discovered that in certain circumstances, Unity, the desktop window manager, whatever, for that was the technical description for Ubuntu, failed to successfully grab the keyboard when switching to the login screen. So a lot of people use. Much like every system seems to be doing now, Windows 8 and all these other things, they want you to press a button and start typing what you want. So it's quite important that the keyboard works. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to type in your commands and stuff. It says a local attacker could possibly use this issue to run commands and unlock the current session. It's allowing you to grab. Okay, it's allowing you to use the
Basically,
still enter stuff from the keyboard when the screen's supposed to be locked.
Basically what it does is when you lock your screen under certain circumstances, it doesn't happen always because it's a race condition, but under certain circumstances, you'll see the input box for the password, and you'll type, and it will not go into this box. You can notice because the little round things don't come up. But that's the only indication. Then if you type in your password, you push enter, nothing happens. Basically what it does, the lock screen failed to grab the keyboard focus, and it'll go into an underlying window, which this guy who filed the bug report for him, it's Chrome.
Right.
And actually managed to replicate this with Chrome, which is really bad, because if you type your password in your location bar in Chrome, it sends it to Google. Also, if you have a Hangout window open, or something, another chat.
Congratulations, you just posted it on Twitter. I was going to say, what if you've got Twitter open on you?
Twitter actually doesn't post with enter anymore, so that kind of saves your ass. But still, it's
still you've posted it to all your people be retweeting it and stuff.
It's not a good. Well, no, if you put enter on Twitter, it just does a line break.
Yeah, that's a shame.
But still, it's still shit.
It's still a bit worrying.
I fixed that mistake, by the way.
Ah, excellent. Sorry. Yeah. There you go. It's fixed now. So, is there any? There's no patch for this. Hang on. After upgrading, blah blah blah. So there's no patch for this at the moment.
It's already patched.
Oh, it is patched. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So make sure you stay up to, as we always say. Make sure you stay up to date with security fixes.
There's a hell of a lot of lock screen bugs in Unity. It's not good.
It's quite. I'm going to play devil's advocate a bit here. It's quite a young. As desktop kind of applications go, it's what 3 years old now, maybe. It's quite young for a desktop application.
Still,
you need to get this stuff fixed. I'm not defending that. But.
After the last lock screen bugs in Ubuntu, JWZ, who did X Screensaver, wrote about this, and he said that all doesn't matter. This is if you do security, he calls it. You have to be this tall to write. If you do security software, like, you can't have bugs like this in the first place. And he's giving them shit because he's basically saying that's what he saw with GNOME screensaver in the beginning as well. They had all the same mistakes. And it's just like, if you write a lock screen, stuff like this can't happen. Like, if this happens, your design is wrong. Like, it shouldn't be possible for this to happen in the first place. That means the way you designed the thing is fundamentally wrong. And I kind of get his point there.
Yeah.
That should not happen, because now they fixed this bug. There's going to be another bug.
There's always another bug. That's one thing you learn about software.
There's always another bug, but you can design your software in a way that, for example, the lock screen can't. Well, you can design in a way that it always has keyboard focus. There's obviously something wrong if your lock screen can lose keyboard focus. Like, and not like just the bug. It's architecturally wrong. Why is there something else running? Like, that can have keyboard. I mean, it's X. X is shit. There was a post on Google Plus also after the first lock screen bugs that we also talked about. Martin Gresslin, who's a KDE developer, who said they kind of saw how hard this is when they did KWin, and they did some very hard architectural choices for KWin when they designed their lock screen. And he goes into how they designed it in a way that it can't, basically, if anything crashes, if your lock screen in KDE crashes, you can't log in. And in Ubuntu, the other bugs were like, if it crashes, it locks you in, which is like architecturally wrong. Like, it should fail to, no, you're not getting in. Like, that's a shit lock if it fails to open. It's not how you write a lock screen.
That is, I see what you mean. All right, and so let's move on. Some news about the Blackphone, security holes in the Blackphone.
Yep, and DEF CON, which is that other conference that always happens after Black Hat, researcher detailed 3 holes in the Blackphone. One of them was already fixed before he discovered it. He wasn't running the latest firmware. One, he basically, how I said there's no ADB on the Blackphone? The developer options are gone. He managed to enable the developer options, to which the makers of the Blackphone say, well, they claim they turned it off because of a bug. That would like mess with the UI in ADB. Actually, I don't know if I'm buying that, but that's what they say. So they turned it off, and they say, which is true, that's not a security problem if you can turn ADB on, because ADB is a part of Android. And they just turned the interface off. They didn't, it's kind of.
I was gonna say, underlying it, the stuff's still there. The tools are still there.
And you need to plug it in by USB, so you need local access anyway. So.
So you can do the USB debugging.
He's found, and he's actually told the Blackphone people. Apparently, they met with him. This security guy met with him. Is a root exploit, so you can get root, but also you need physical access for that as well. And Blackphone actually says they fixed it, or they will fix it. The other hole, which this guy discovered, which was already fixed, they fixed like in 2 days. They seem to be really
responsive,
on par. Yeah, they know what they're doing. Like this, their chief security officer Dan Ford, he was replying to this immediately.
Great name, Dan Ford.
Well, yeah, and I looked him up on Twitter, and so I'm looking. He's apparently he got his doctor.
All right, so he's Dr. Dan Ford.
Yep. His name is, what is his Twitter name again? Wait, damn! I closed the fucking tab. Bloody hell. His Twitter name is @NetSecrets, like secrets, but with an X. and it says on Twitter, it says Dr. Natsicrax, whatever, I can't say. But I stalked, like I looked him up on Twitter and I followed him because obviously interesting security stuff. So I'm looking through his timeline, and he bought a Harley when he got his doctor, like same month I bought my bike. So I thought, cool guy. Fellow bike rider.
Yeah, that is cool. That is
nice
cool.
Harley as well.
Yeah,
Nice
okay.
bike.
Cool. All right, and so off the subject of security news for a minute, we got some news about OpenGL, the graphics project. I'm sure everyone knows. Yeah, they announced the next generation of their OpenGL stuff. 5-year journey to utilize graphics cards.
No, that's the ongoing journey.
The ongoing journey, yeah, you're right, actually, yeah. So to explore. Yeah, I do. I did like that, actually, yeah. So, yeah, the Kronos group, the non-profit group who...
it's from Star Trek as well. That's a Klingon home planet, Kronos.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Behind, I'm guessing there's probably some fans in there. Yeah, behind the popular OpenGL graphics API.
Spelled differently. Also, it's the name of the Greek god of time, but yeah.
Oh, I suppose so. Yeah, chronology. It makes sense, doesn't it, for time? Anyway, yep. Anyway, they've just announced that. Yeah, the details. They've announced the details for specification of OpenGL 4.5. Okay, that's quite cool. So it says Kronos is busy laying the groundwork for its next generation of OpenGL initiative, which will unify desktop and mobile implementation of the API for modern GPUs, or graphics processors. Next implementation, I can't speak, will be a complete ground-up redesign of the current system. So that's quite a big undertaking, offering high-efficiency access to graphics and GPU computing across the desktop and mobile platforms. Okay, so it looks like they're basically pushing hard to get the mobile stuff up to scratch and make it both the desktop and the mobile stuff perform similarly well.
But that's, well, this is kind of from Android Authority, so they're kind of focused on mobile. But one of the big things is that they're redesigning it from scratch. They're redesigning OpenGL from scratch, which is also very interesting for a desktop shit. It's just
okay.
Yeah.
On the subject of you mentioned Kronos and all that when you were talking about that, Greek gods and so on. Laura Mann in the chat room there says he was the father of Zeus. I didn't know that. He was the king of the gods.
He's the first. He started it all.
I wonder if that's where the expression "Father Time" comes from. You know, Mother Nature, Father Time.
It does. Mother Nature is Gaia.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. I'm just trying to look that up. Yeah.
Okay. Radio silence is a crime.
Sorry.
dead air is a crime. Okay. Yep. So
I'm confused.
Okay.
There is actually I have a Omega Seamaster watch.
Oh yeah.
It actually has on the backside. I was looking, but I can't show you because I've got different strap on mine. Strap on? That sounds weird. No, watch strap. But it actually has Kronos on the back.
Oh right.
I'm gonna put a picture in the show notes. Wait.
Is he an old guy with a beard by any chance?
No, he's a.
Oh, it's like a horse.
Hydrocephal. Well, it's just like a seahorse.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so for people listening to the audio, you'll have to go to the show notes to look at the picture.
Yeah, I'll put links. I'm just getting links together, sorry, that's why I'm so discombobulated. There's also cool. I'm gonna put a link to the Wikipedia page on Kronos.
Okay.
Which has all his different incarnations. Obviously, he's also kind of a Roman god because the Roman.
Yeah, it says also known as Saturn. Someone's Phantagorth just said also known as Saturn under the Roman god.
Saturn in the Roman, yeah. And it also says here Father Time, and that's where the
right. Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I do. We never. When I was at
Actually-
school, we did do stuff about like Mount Olympus and Zeus and all that stuff and Hera and all the rest of it, but we never did anything like before that.
Come on,
But I
you
didn't know there
watched
was anything before.
Hercules. You got all of that knowledge from Hercules.
No,
Disappointed!
Yeah. I wish I had actually, but no. We used to do Greek mythology. We'd like read. It was actually quite cool. It was one of the best lessons when we'd actually get to, like, the teacher would read like these. Well, there was stuff about about people, all the characters like Hercules and stuff, but all the others as well, like Achilles and so on and all the rest of them.
To get back to the topic, if you look it up on Wikipedia, it says often transliterated as Chronos, Chronos, which is the way.
Okay, so that's the way they've spelled it.
Spells it, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, very cool. So I'm just looking at the Wikipedia page. So if you want to have a look, you can click the link in the show notes. Meanwhile, back at the show, back at the Linux business, Qt or Qt, which is the toolkit that people, Nokia actually bought it a long time ago, but it was originally Trolltech, I believe. The toolkit that, yeah. It was originally, it was originally Trolltech, and it's the thing that KDE was built with, basically. So KDE uses the Qt libraries and so on, or Qt libraries. And I don't do desktop development these days, and I ever did that much. But I believe they're very cool to use. Like Qt 4 is really cool to use as a toolkit when you're doing your GUI design stuff and your programming stuff. But anyway, they, as we know, Nokia got swallowed up by Microsoft after the Elopcalypse that was always on the cards, and they got swallowed up by Microsoft, and people are wondering what's going to happen. And apparently, Digia have decided to move the Qt business into their own company, into a separate company.
Well, still going to be owned by Digia, though.
Yeah,
Although
true.
I don't know how Digia is like connected to Microsoft now. I believe we talked about this.
I don't know either, actually. Yeah. Apparently, they're going to retire qt.digia.com and merge it with content from the qt-project.org into a new unified web presence. It says. I'm going to say we were also planning on unifying packages, your Qt packages. I'm just wondering what they're going to get from spinning them out into a separate company.
I don't know. It sounds like what they're going to do with the unifying the packages for paid and the open source development, and then unifying the build process. Sounds like what Red Hat is doing. Like, you know, how the packages are, but they did that with CentOS as well. How it's now the same build infrastructure and stuff. And before that, it's kind of the same on Fedora and stuff. You know how they build Fedora and RHEL in the same infrastructure, and that's why the packages are, there you have EPEL, which is basically Fedora packages for RHEL, and it sounds like they're going to do that.
Okay, that's quite cool. I know. For a long time they were talking about tablets and stuff like that when they had the, what was it called now? The Spark, was it? No, not Spark. What was it called? They were KDE were going to do the KDE project. We had a tablet, and they were talking about how Qt is so great, or Qt.
That's
so great on mobile.
Which never.
I don't think it ever actually appeared. Yeah. But apparently it is used for quite a few. Desktop applications, mobile applications and so on as well. So I don't know. I think it's going to be around for a while. It's quite well embedded, the Qt libraries.
Yeah, I don't know if the spinning out actually changes anything.
All right, and so final story. We got, where are we now? Oh, okay. So compilers coming together, basically. So GCC, the GNU C compiler, and LLVM / Clang, which is kind of an Apple project, really, isn't it? Which is a rival. They're going to collaborate, apparently.
Well, it's not. Well, Apple is supporting it. It's not like only Apple uses that.
I know that, but everybody kind of thinks of Apple. I do anyway. Yeah. Maybe it's just me. Kind of thinks of Apple when I think of LLVM and Clang and so on. Anyway, the two projects, GCC and LLVM, the two teams have decided to collaborate, basically. So they're going to reach common defaults between compilers to avoid confusion with architecture flags and other compiler switches, and make other improvements to better the interoperability between the compilers and make a better end-user/developer experience. Focus isn't on merging GCC and LLVM, debating licensing differences, fighting over who has the faster compiler, or just other such hating topics. Okay. So basically, it looks like they're trying to prove that they can rise above all that, which, you know, a lot of people will argue over different things, compile times and all the rest of it. But they're actually going to try and work together and make the same flags work on both systems and so on. That could be quite useful if you're developing a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Okay then. So I think that's all.
It's good for them to work together.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They seem like the main developers seem like, oh yeah, we're working together. There's no politics, and yeah, I think
sounds too good to be true.
Yeah. Well, no, I think they really believe in that they're above the politics and stuff. But I don't think the rest of the community is necessarily like that. You know.
Yeah. I just wonder when I see these things that whether they're going to explode and, you know, someone will call someone else a masturbating monkey or something and then it'll all kick off. Maybe I'm so used to like the Linus Torvalds kind of situation. I don't know. Versus, you know, the world.
No, yeah, I think there's a lot of politics involved just with the licenses, which they actually address. You know, they're saying, well, it's not about squabbling over the licenses, but you know, you just can't just say you can't just divorce yourself from that.
No, true.
There's history there. This is going to come up, but we'll see how bad that's going to be. No idea.
Yeah. So we should probably talk about some of the feedback and so on.
Yeah.
We need to thank everyone who supported the show.
If recently. You look on the Six Gun site, there's credits there in the footer kind of. And if you look there, we've got lots of donators that donate again and again and keep the server running, which is cool.
Certainly do. Yep, it's very cool. So on to some emails that we've had in the last week or so. We got one from Orange Dolphin, which is an interesting name, who
interesting.
Yeah, who writes about our idea for a novel, our story about a detective riding bike. Sorry, not a detective, a journalist, stroke motorbiking journalist, crime solver. He says, not sure about the title, but the main character just has to be Dick Scenery PI. It says your own invention from Linux Outlaws 342. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, that's true, but that's not like
not German though, is it really? Maybe Dick Scenery could be another character in it somehow. Maybe he could be somehow linked.
Yeah, he goes over to the UK or something and he meets
in an exchange. Yeah. Well, that kind of shit's really popular now. You've got like The Bridge, was it, where all these joint fucking Scandinavian murder crime drama things they do, where like The Bridge, where one of them's from Denmark and the other one's from Sweden and stuff.
I don't watch these.
No, I don't watch them either particularly. I know The Bridge was a huge thing, and they're doing a second one.
Tell the difference between them being from Denmark and Sweden. They're all like honky 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 bork bork bork.
Bork bork. Yeah, true.
Fi.
Yeah. Yeah, that's quite cool. Thanks to Orange Dolphin for that one.
To them, we all bratwurst eating beer drinkers down here probably. It's all.
Oh, that's a good point actually. Fantagorth just pointed out. I never thought of that. Orange Dolphin. Dolphin is one of their packages. The name of one of the Orange mobile phone packages. He's just pointing out. It's a type of account with Orange. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, he's right. I don't know if they still do it. I was with Orange many years ago, and they were okay. But they started doing these packages where you had like different. They were named after different animals, and dolphin was one of them.
He must be undercover, this listener.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's clearly Julian Assange. He's a big fan. Doesn't want to use his real name.
Good old Jules.
Jules, yeah. All right,
yes,
and so
Torin Doyle says, have you convinced other people to try GNU Linux, and have they continued to use it? I have managed to get my father to use Linux since 2010, along with a few others. Let's first address that. I don't know. Probably. Does the show count?
I would say the show has to count.
I've
Yeah.
not really convinced. I talked about Linux with my mother, and then at some point my mother said, "I want that," and then I put it on her laptop, and she's been happy ever since. And that was, God, that must have been 5-6 years ago.
And is she still using it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a win.
Chugging along.
We'll take that as a win. I got a similar story actually. If we're going to talk about, I mean, lots of people have over the years. I've got like friends and stuff to try Linux and relatives and so on, and they've used it, and most of them I think still use it. My mum's using Linux Mint, yeah, and she got into it because well, I'd been running it for a long time, for many years, and then she's always been quite into computers anyway, but I think she finally got pissed off with Windows. I think she got a machine with Windows Vista on it, and that was the bullet. That was the thing that just kind of I think killed Windows for her. And recently she bought a new laptop actually, which came with Windows 8.1, and she hates it. So I'm going to put Mint on that as well.
Windows 8.1 is pretty terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
I finally got my dad now. I bought him for his birthday. I bought him a Mac Mini.
Oh, okay.
At least
so you got him off Windows.
At least he's off Windows now. So he still has a Windows netbook, but that's when that's gone, it'll be a Windows free household.
Be a victory.
Yeah.
You'll be able to raise a flag out on the roof.
Well, it's a lot less. Basically, my motivation was to minimize my tech support.
Yeah, there's that as well, and increase security as well. I would imagine.
Well, yeah, that's basically why it minimizes my tech support. Less viruses.
You don't get all the I double click this thing, and now my computer wants me to pay money.
Exactly that. Oh, look, my NAS is encrypted, and I didn't even ask it to encrypt. That's not good. Torrent Doyle also said, you mentioned Münster in LO episode 356. I hail from another Münster, without the umlaut, that is. It's one of the 4 provinces of Ireland. Actually, I was editing the last show when it occurred to me that Munster is a province of Ireland. Although Torrent got me wrong, I wasn't talking about Münster with the umlaut. I was talking about Munster, which is spelled as the Munster in Ireland, but it's Munster in Lower Saxony. Which I'll put links to all 3 Munsters in the
notes.
No notes.
I never realised there were so many places called Munster. I mean, the only one I was familiar with was the one in Ireland, really, before you mentioned the other ones recently. And mainly because, I mean, I'm not a big rugby union fan. I don't follow it a lot, but I know that Munster are one of the big rugby teams, one of the big Irish rugby teams, and they're always playing like Leinster and some of the others. So thanks to Torrent for that one. Torrent Doyle. Speaking of Ireland.
Mad Irish bastards, yes.
Yeah. Actually, this is very good. He was in the IRC before. I don't know where he's gone, but Felin Whiteley or Felin Whiteley. Yeah. He says he wrote in with more suggestions for our novel idea that we were talking about before. He says, he says that the title should be. I'm going to say it in a normal accent because otherwise it won't make much sense. He says the title should be Murder He Road.
That is amazing. That is quite good.
Yeah, that is quite good. The other one, you might have to pronounce this one properly, but he says.
Reiter?
Yeah, he says Motorrad Reiter for a German name with English pronunciation pun.
Rider of a motorbike, but that in German that doesn't make sense. That sounds weird.
Well, who cares? Well, I suppose you do.
In German, means rider, but only of a horse.
Oh, right.
It doesn't work with the motorbike. I mean,
steel horse? No.
You know how you say to ride a motorbike in English?
Mm-hmm.
In German, you can't say that. In German, you drive a motorbike basically. Motorradfahren. It's like driving a car, driving a bike. It's not riding it as in.
Right. Okay. Well, I quite like Murder He Road, although you said it's as you said it's a bit too close to.
It's good.
Yeah, it is good though. Anyway, it says, I'll expect my check in the post, um, or I'll get my coat. So fair enough. Thanks to Fallon for that one. That was very cool.
Yep, do that one as well, and I do the next one.
Okay. So the next one we got is Martin Lake. Martin Lake says, big fan of the show. Following your discussion on your favorite distros a few weeks back, I just wanted to ask I remember this email now. I just wanted to ask, what's your favorite shell? Let's assume that most people don't just use Bash for a moment and ask, what are the shells you have tried, and do any of them hold a special place in your hearts? Honestly, I mean, I think the only other one I've ever bothered with was that fish one that was out a while ago.
Fish.
Today's fish is trout on the crab. Fish. Yeah.
I can't answer that question because I just use Bash.
Yeah, I did try fish for a while, but only I think fish. Yeah, only to mess around with it. And honestly, I know he says let's pretend most people don't just use Bash, but let's be honest, most people just use Bash.
Well, the thing with Bash is, I mean, the shell's kind of important, and my big reason for never getting used to another shell was, if you log into a system, that's the shell you get. Like, if you don't use that, you have to jump through hoops to get your, if you're like on a web server or some random web server, random machine, you get Bash.
You get Bash, yeah.
Usually, so. It's just easier to learn that, easier to get used to that. And I've seen all these other shells. I've tried using them, but all the selling points they were never so good as to overcome this. Well, it's the thing you have, and you don't have to jump through hoops to get it, For me.
True. So he goes on to say, people are talking about this in the IRC actually. He goes on to say, personally, I hate ZSH or Z shell. I encountered it once on an Arch install and superglued my eyes shut. Although at the same time, Geordie Bastard in the IRC says ZSH is awesome. So those two can argue about that. As I said to you, I did try fish once, but only as an experiment. I don't think I'd ever use it as my main shell, just because so many, as you said, you dial into another machine, you get an SSH session up, whatever it is, it's always always Bash. So I do love Bash. But other shells are out there, if you want to check them out.
Other shells are available.
Other shells are available. So thank you to Martin Lake for that. I hope that wasn't a totally disappointing answer, but both of us just say Bash, basically.
Bash.
Mm-hmm.
Lee?
It's pronounced Lee.
Firstly, big shout out Fab for dropping 7,000 euros on the Goodsy just weeks after getting married. Kudos, very retro quality stoppers too. Their purchase says more about producer Katie than cash ever can. Paraphrase a popular 80s Amex ad. Secondly, I would have commented directly on the website, but it seems to use Discuss, which it doesn't. My blog does, but our website doesn't. Our website actually you should go to the Saloon. It links to the Saloon now for the comment stuff, which is Discourse, not Discuss, the commenting system. I know it's confusing, but yeah. And he links us to an article, and he says that has made me more than a little wary. Discuss, pun. First of all, the marriage wedding thing, it's almost half a year now. So it's
that went by quick.
Yeah, and then I don't know. Mine and Katie's relationship has never been one of, I don't know. You can't buy this. This is not how our relationship works. She was actually very behind me getting the bike, which is cool. And he's
very cool. Yeah.
It says a lot about her. I like how he does Kaylee.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Like Kaylee from Firefly.
Yeah.
No,
I hadn't thought of that actually.
let's get off this. I get weird
Shiny.
sexual fantasies.
Shiny.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay.
The discuss thing, that's discuss with the Q, which I use on my blog, is I'm gonna put a link to the article in the show notes. Basically, he goes on about how the article is titled Discussed.
Right.
It's on a site called Pearl Tricks, which should tell you everything about this. It's basically, it's horrible, it's insecure. He says it has all these drawbacks, and then there's no positive things. I mean, yes, it is kind of unsecure. It kind of embeds another page in your page, which, yes, has problems. But this guy's arguments, David, the founder and editor of Pearl Tricks, I think he's wrong, because first of all, he doesn't get what the cool thing about Discuss is. The cool thing about Discuss is, which people like that, people who are for decentralized systems, hate, it's like one thing. Like, okay, the comments are stored on their service, but it has the upside that you just need one login, right? Lots of people won't comment on a blog because you need to sign up for every fucking thing, or it's like WordPress.com, then you can comment on all the WordPress blogs, but then you go to a Drupal site or Ghost like mine, it doesn't work. And it's really handy for Ghost because Ghost doesn't have a commenting system. So you can just embed that. And that's the cool thing about Discuss, which this guy doesn't get. And then his security concerns are actually not the actual... Like he goes into the XSS attacks, which that's the big one.
Cross-site script.
But then he goes on about they get hacked all the time and it could leak all your data. It's fucking blog comments. What data do you have in there? Most people don't even have their real name. It's like an email address, right? And maybe password. So use a fucking throwaway password. Who gives a crap? Worst thing that happens is somebody's gonna comment in your name on a blog. And everybody can do that anyway. It's not this is like making a mountain out of a molehill.
Fair enough. All right. Well, thanks.
If you don't like Discuss, don't comment on my fucking blog. I don't give a damn. And the show uses Discourse, which is by the guy who did Stack Exchange, and it's all manner of awesome and certainly not insecure, and it's fucking brilliant. Even the curmudgeons from our old forums like it now.
They do seem to, yeah. They do seem to. It's taken a while, yeah, but it's won people over. Even I've used it like more than I've ever used any. I know it's not a lot, but I've used it more than I think I've used any other forum in a very long time.
Basically twice.
No, it's more than that. It's at least 5. It's at least 5. So thanks to Lee for that one. Anyway, so we got one from Barry Williams, Will, who's staying under. He says, we were talking about how, like, the show, we were talking about number 365 coming up and all the rest of it. He says, as any rent, brackets, the musical, not the housing situation, fan will tell you, 525,600 minutes is a year, just an FYI.
Why? Musical what? I don't get it.
Rent, it's the musical, isn't it? I haven't seen it, but I know.
Is there a song in there that says...
I imagine it probably is, yeah. So thanks to Barry Williams for that one.
Thanks for that information.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Fry from TLLTS fame. He's from Philly. He's a bloody Flyers fan. And even though he's a Flyers fan, like Ralph Garman. Yeah, they're everywhere, fuckers. He says, I was wondering if you guys could promote the Fund Anything campaign we have going for 5150, who recently lost his house to a house fire. If you are not familiar with him, he's a long-time podcaster on HPR, Hacker Public Radio, and Kernel Panic Occast. We have raised over $2,200 for him so far.
That's cool.
And there'll be a link in the show notes. And even though he's a Flyers fan, I support this.
Yeah. I mean, I do know 5150, and Yeah, and he seems like a great guy, and that's obviously a horrible thing to happen to anyone. So, head over and have a look.
We need to. I need to write that. Maybe we can get this thing going where he burns flyer jerseys, and we get Penguins.
Really, how much money are you going to pledge for that? Then?
Exactly. Get Pens fans to pledge money. Oh, why not? Even better. I'll pledge money for him to wear a Sidney Crosby jersey.
Oh, okay.
Let's see how far he's prepared to go for this good cause.
Put your team's pride where your mouth is, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Okay. So
Dan playing gigs for Gaza.
I know. Yeah. Just me and all the other, like Bob Geldof and all those other people, and Bono and Bono and Sting and all the others. So go and check that out. We'll put a link in the show notes. It's on fundanything.com, as we said. So if you want to send us an email, you want to get in touch, you want to hear it read on the show, you can send it to linuxoutlaws@sixgun.org. That's linuxoutlaws@sixgun.org. That's the address you need.
Free.
Yes. You can also use the discourse forum that we have, which is at saloon.sixgun.org. And there's always interesting stuff going on there. Go and check it out. It's very cool. What else is there? If you want to check out anything to do with the show or anything else to do with the network, you can go to sixgun.org. I think that's probably about it.
That's it. We have a song from Cletus Got Shot. I noticed this song while I put in the other song for the show notes for the other show.
Mm-hmm.
And this is from their they have an album called don't let me get this wrong. Working Songs for the Drinking Class, and then there's a bonus album which is Drinking Songs for the Working Class, which has this song called Dog Named Dan.
Interesting title.
And we just had to I had to include that just for the title.
Yeah, it's a really good tune. I had listened to this before. I don't know he doesn't mention anything to do with a dog named Dan in it. I don't know why it's called that, but
it's a big mystery. We need to get the German bike riding detective on the case and figure that out.
Yeah, maybe. Check these guys out. We've played them a few times. They're really, really good. Cletus Scott Shot. If you go to cletuscottshot.bandcamp.com, you can get all this stuff there. Throw some cash their way. All their albums, I think, are pretty much are like name your own price. So go over and give them something for it because it's very cool. Good. Yeah, and it's all Creative Commons as well, which is even better. Hopefully they're going to come back. They're on a break. They're kind of like having a bit of a sabbatical or something, I suppose. The band at the moment, but I'm really hoping they're going to come back.
They must.
Yeah, they must do. We demand it. All right, so let's play this then. This is Dog Named Dan.
Yeah, and I'm putting on my helmet and I'm out of here. See you next week. Damn. Wait.
I was waiting to play the music until I assumed,
My bike is starting.
Hold on, people.
What the fuck's going on?
Your joke is important to us. Please hold the line. Your punchline is important to us.
This bike's not starting.
Oh no, the bike's dead.
My soundboard locked up.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just I'll put it in
just
post.
Go. Something like that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I'll put it in.
All right. Thanks for listening and watching, everyone. We'll catch you next week. Enjoy the song. Bye bye.
See ya.
Across the tracks downtown, I'm in Billy Joe's house, just to say hi. Well, just say hi. Oh, there's always an old man sitting on the front porch, lonely as he can be, with drinking his whiskey. Well, drinking his whiskey. So that preacher man asked Billy Joe, how his life been treating you? And this is what he said. Well, this is what I said. I ain't do too good. Next time on me. Gotta be an E10 out there, damn. I just ain't my time. I just might get high. But I'm tired of living, the devil in time, just back on the jack. So old Billy Joe was walking down the street on a Sunday afternoon. We're looking for a whore. We're looking for a whore. And he saw a gal went into a building down Savage Every Street. Could this be her? Could this be her? And when he got inside, he saw that preacher man screaming on the mic stand, "You're gonna burn in hell. You're gonna burn in hell." So that preacher man asked the Billy Joe, "How was life been treating you?" And this is what he said. Well, this is what I said. I ain't do too good, but it's not like me. I gotta be an each and now and then. It just ain't my time. I slice get high. But I'm tired of living, you can never live down this back on the shack. Hey! Well, that black and white finally caught up to Billy and threw his ass in jail. Threw his ass in jail. Threw his ass in jail. When he got inside, he saw that preacher man with his head in his hands. With his hand in his hand. So old Billy Joe asked the preacher man, "How has life been treating you?" And this is what he said. Well, this is what I said. Well, I do too good, but it's fine by me. Gotta be an each head and now and then. This ain't my time. I smash it high, but it's time to live and you can never lay down. Just back on the jack. I ain't doing too good, it's fine by me. Gotta be an each head and now and then. This ain't my time. I smash it high. But when I'm tired of living, you can help me with the time. So just back off the shack.
Hey,
Dan with the banjo.
yeah, it's not in tune at all. So I'm just like, people will be able to hear
I
that.
was gonna say, can you tell the banjo?
You know what? Can you
you
tell if
tell?
it's in tune? No, it's hard to tell. Yeah, it is hard to tell. I need to fix it up. Actually, it needs new strings. Yeah, I don't think I'll be bothering anyone too soon.
Yeehaw.
I did used to know how to play it a bit years ago, but only chords. I wasn't into all the fancy finger picking stuff. But yeah, there you go. It's a handy prop to have when you need to do some air banjo. You need to do some banjo thingy. Yeah, so that was Cletus Scott Sharp with a track called Dog Named Dan. And it's very cool. I enjoyed that song a lot. As I said in the IRC, it really makes you want to, when it kicks in, I kind of like had to slap my thigh and stomp my feet and all the rest of it. Very, very cool. So go and check them out on Bandcamp. Yeah, they're a really good band. And they've got quite a few albums out, if I remember rightly. Let me just have a look. They've got, I think they've got like 5 albums or something on.
They need to come back, and then they need to play Gaza charity gig.
Maybe, yeah. Here we go. Oh yeah, there we go. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 albums on there. That's pretty good. Their websites, their official website was cletusgottshot.com, but they've let the domain lapse because they haven't done anything for a couple of years, and now it goes to some weird advertising site. If you try and do cletusgottshot.com, it goes to some weird site which has got some information about a disease or something on it. I'm not really sure what that's about. There you go. It's got information about a disease called mesothelioma.
That got to do with Cletus and being shot.
Yeah.
Instead, you should go to bionicraven.de.
Yeah, you can do that, or you can go to cletusgottshot.bandcamp.com, which is where you can find all their music.
Or you can go to bionicraven.net.
Mm-hmm.
Or .co.uk.
People calling for more banjo now in the IRC. That's nice to see. Let me get it in tune and let me remember how to play it first, because it's been a long, long time. It's been like 15 years.
On the banjo.
It's been like 15 years since I played the banjo. Didn't we have a banjo version? Didn't Jazra or someone do one for us?
I need to dig it up properly.
Yeah. All right, and so
Get out of here.
yeah, let's get out of here. Thanks to everyone for listening and watching, and apologies for listing the wrong time. That's funny that we thought we were half an hour late, but actually we were half an hour early because we got the time wrong.
Amazing. Might do that every time. No?
Maybe we should do that every time. Yeah,
it's like magic.
It does work pretty well. All right, I'm going to stop the Icecast any moment now. Thanks to everyone for tuning in.
Bye.
See you next time. Bye-bye.